Team, welcome. We are assessing our thoracic stability today. As you probably know from the thoracic mobility video, which I highly recommend you do before this one, the way our back moves, so the mobility that it has and how strong it is, our mid-back, plays a big role into how our neck, our shoulders, our low back, and a few other areas on our body feel. So this area is responsible for a whole lot, and it's really, really important that it does its job, mobility and stability wise. So today you're gonna find out where it needs a little bit more help and where it's doing a really good job. Now, because we're gonna be on one foot, I highly recommend you check in with the ankle stability and the hip stability videos also, just to get an idea, because if our ankle is super wobbly, it might give us maybe not a great read on the thoracic stability today, where it might be more of an ankle thing, and that's why we're off balance, rather than a thoracic stability thing. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get started. And we're gonna start off with the spinal flexion, okay? So I'm gonna give you a side view on this. We've got a couple options here. We can be on one foot, okay, with the toe tap, as much or as little as we need on that toe tap. Ideally, the less we use on the toe tap, typically the better read we're gonna get. Unless we feel super off balance, then again, use a little more on that toe tap. And then we could also go, if we feel strong with it, onto one foot, okay? If you feel a little bit too off balance with the toe tap or just the one foot, then you may wanna stick to the mobility video and work a little bit, or potentially use a little bit of a wall to hang on to with the toe tap, okay? We always wanna make sure that we are safe first. All right, so to start off with our side view, I'm gonna go right foot down and we're gonna toe tap left foot, okay? Or float it. So we've got, again, those two options. We're gonna go ahead and round forward just until we feel like our lower back gets involved. Very good. And we're gonna do about 3 reps per position today. And then we're gonna go our other side. So I'm on my other foot. Very good, team. And again, if I get a little off balance, I might just touch down. For the most part, I'm gonna be on one foot. Now we're gonna go ahead into the extension. Again, this one's really important because we need it to come from the mid-back. And a lot of our desk jobs and everything else, we start to lose a lot of this. So, reminder, the mobility looks like this. You can see it's coming from here, okay? If it's too much low back, it looks like this. And then we're not assessing our mid-back mobility, our thoracic mobility at that point. So same game with the stability. It's gotta come from the mid-back. If you're feeling too much at your lower back, you probably are starting to compensate with your lower back and may have run out of room with the thoracic. So 3 good reps on one foot. Okay, and then we're gonna go other foot. Awesome, team. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and laterally flex. So I'm gonna face the front here, we're on one foot, and I'm gonna go ahead and tilt to the right. So on my right foot, and I'm tilting sideways right. And I'm taking my time. You can always do a few more reps than me if you feel like you need to. And then I'm gonna go to the other side. Again, we're just looking to be nice and strong with it. That was a little tougher for me, going to the left on my right foot. Okay, so now I got left leg down. I'm tilting sideways left. And now I'm gonna tilt sideways to the right. And that one I felt a little stronger on than compared to my other side, so I'm gonna make a note of that. Okay. Now the weird one, which we learned in the mobility assessment video. We're gonna kind of translate the spine, meaning we're gonna move it laterally, but not flex it. It's gonna just kind of shift laterally. So, best way again I can describe this is my hips are gonna stay, but my mid-spine is gonna go. So my hips kind of stay where they are, but my mid-spine shifts, not like this. It's very easy to cheat with a turn or a tilt. Try to just shift laterally and come back home, okay? So if you see my logo kind of lined up in the middle, but now it's not. So we gotta do this both ways on each foot. So right foot down, and we're gonna go ahead, shift, and come back home. It's not a lot. Then I'm going to shift the other way. Doing my best to drive it from my mid-spine. This one I might need a toe tap with a little bit more to get that moving better. Okay, other foot down. And again, I'm going to translate to my left. And then to my right. And again, I feel a little stronger on this side. I'm able to do that a little more confidently with a little bit more control. In this one, I did need a little bit of a toe tap to get that accomplished. Okay. Lastly, we're going into our rotational plane. So we have our right foot down, and we're gonna go ahead. First, our hips are gonna go with us. So just like the mobility video, we let our hips go with us, okay? And then we're gonna keep the hips still and turn just the spine to get a little bit more of a direct look at that mid-spine. So right foot down, I can float this. My hips are gonna turn with me. 1, 3 strong turns. And you're just looking at how much control do you have? How much distance can you go still having that control? And then comparing the two sides. So now I'm gonna go right foot down, I'm gonna turn left. We might need a toe tap. Okay, I like both of those on that side. Now left foot down, I'm gonna turn left. Okay, and I like to kind of reset after each one. Gives me just a more clear picture. And then to the right. So left foot's down, turning right. This one's a little tougher for me, but I'm pretty happy with both of them. Okay, now a little trickier. It's just a little bit more coordination. The hip stays, but the spine goes, okay? And again, this gives us a little bit more of a more isolated look at the thoracic. So we're gonna go right foot down, hip is gonna stay, so my hip stays square to you, but you can see the logo of my shirt is turning toward this wall I have to the right. And again, how far can it go? How strong are you throughout that distance? Again, you can reset, and then I'll go right foot down again. I'm gonna turn left. My hips probably went a little too much on that one. So I gotta keep the hips, turn the spine. This is a little tougher for me. Core is definitely involved in all of these. Okay. Left foot down, hip stay, spine goes. All right, I feel strong with that. This one a little tougher. Hip stay, spine goes. Okay, awesome. So ways to start to progress, okay, or kind of compare. The further you can go staying in control, as long as you're doing everything correctly, typically the stronger that area is, okay? So first, we want to make sure we have control, okay, each side. with more like initial range of motion, so you can start smaller. Then you kind of go to mid range of motion, and then you kind of go to end range of motion. Eventually, ideally they have equal end range of motion. So you might have found that you can go really far going to the right, okay? But to the left, you felt strong maybe up to here, and it got real shaky over here. Well, then that's something that you have to work on that left side. Right side seems pretty good. Symmetry, remember, keeps the body happy. Now, if they're both very off balance very early on, then obviously we want to get both of them better, okay? So, not only do we want proper mobility, but we need to be able to be in control of that mobility. We need the stability along with it, the strength along with it, and that's what keeps our body in whatever area that we're working on the most happy, okay? So, keep working on the mobility videos, keep working on the stability videos. You're doing a great job. As always, there's more free workouts aligned with all of this stuff that you're working on Home Fit Plus. You can sign up for that app for free, and a lot of wonderful free workouts right on there that you can start to go through in the mobility section. And then as you get more comfortable with that stuff, you can work your way into the strength, metabolic, and power sections too. And you become a strong and mobile, three-dimensional individual. Awesome work, team.